Well, welcome back, race fans. Tonight, Harpoon Design Sim Racing Unleashed Cup Series, Season 14, Round 17. Second time we have been here at the Tricky Triangle of Pocono, presented to you all by MaxspeedTV. Myself, Joshua Medlock. Will Roberts again joining us this week here tonight. Will, glad to have you back with us. And, I don't think you was here the first time when they were here at Pocono, but, this track, even at the first time being here, doesn't make it any easier coming here a second time.
No, it does not, Joshua. Anything you might have thought you have learned or gained sometimes can be a net loss coming back here the second time around. Tricky Triangle, and that indeed is a great nickname for this place because all three distinct different corners have three different surprises for these drivers. You are kind of worried about turn 2. I'm a little bit worried about turn 1, but I'm still with you about turn 2. That's probably going to be treacherous turn this evening. Can't wait to see what's in store for us this evening, Joshua.
Oh, yeah, and I've already got the pre-race analytics pulled up here. Several drivers out on the track here in practice. Air temp of 64. Track temp, it has went up. It started out at 100 degrees, and we are up to 108 here. So it's not going to make it any easier for these guys. Now, they are only doing 70 laps this time around. It's going to be a long, grueling 70 laps. 175 miles, 4 sets of tires. Now, the fuel is 75%. However, that's going to put the range, I've got it at 25 to 30. Me and Will was just discussing that. Will, it could come down to saving just enough fuel for the stage, as that stage break is going to be at the completion of lap 25, getting, when they hit 26. So it's definitely going to be close on fuel.
Yes, sir, especially the hard chargers out front leading this field. Some might choose to linger in the back, try to comfortably make it to that stage break. Like we said, really hard to predict the actual fuel window because when you are hard charging, that fuel tremendously drops. And then whenever you're just kind of, lingering, just waiting for that point of the race when you choose to strike, you can save a lot of fuel just by, riding around, conserving, doing your best. So, that's kind of why we have a 5-lap guesstimation window with the fuel. The drivers were telling us, 25 to 30, 26 to 30. So I don't know too many that have actually gone maybe up above 15 laps in a run, so going to be real intriguing, Joshua.
Oh, yeah, definitely, and I guess we'll find out. Now, of course, no green throughout the first part. That's when, of course, we will have to watch out for those trying to save fuel. Now, pit road here at Pocono, 55 miles an hour with a pace speed of 75. Taking a look at the point standings coming into this afternoon. Mark Whitley. Now, the top 4 have not changed from last week, but we will still go over those. Mark Whitley up at the top here at 675. Harry Slapinski in second is 657, 18 behind Mark. Kyle Heath in third at 634, 41 behind the leader, 23 behind Gary. Chris Paff in fourth at 584, 91 behind the leader, and 50 even behind Kyle. Phillip Bridgman is going to be up a spot into fifth at 529, 146 behind the leader, and 55 behind Chris. Brandon Sheets down a spot into sixth at 512, 163 behind the leader, 17 behind Phillip. Robbie Darnell is going to stay where he's at in seventh at 478, 197 behind the leader, and 34 behind Brandon. Jason Adams likewise going to stay where he's at in eighth at 470, 205 behind the leader, and 8 behind Robbie Darnell. Robbie Stewart in ninth at 456, 219 behind the leader, and 14 behind Jason. Keith Hurlbutt in 10th at 455, 220 behind the leader, and 1 behind Robbie. Zach Duchier up 2 spots into 11th at 424, 251 behind the leader, and 31 behind Keith. Larry Blair up 2 spots into 12th at 415, 260 behind the leader and 9 behind Zach. Hunter Hayward down 2 into 13th at 403. 272 behind the leader, 12 behind Larry. Jeff Gilmore down 2 as well into 14th at 397. 278 behind the leader, 6 behind Hunter. Jim Coleman-Spurger up a spot into 15th at 339. 336 behind the leader, 58 behind Jeff, and David Cassidy is going to be down a spot into 16th at 334, 341 behind the leader, and 5 behind Coleman-Spurger. Anything definitely can and will happen here tonight. We'll see exactly if we have any changes going into next week. We've got more information coming to y'all here tonight, folks, for the stats from last time we were here at Pocono, as well as the upcoming races. We are winding down the regular season. We'll talk more about that. But we're going to step aside and play the national anthem provided by Madison Rising. So hang tight, folks. Qualifying will be underway when we come back.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket treadless, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, traitors that star-spangled banner, yeah, wave for the land under the frame, and the home of the brave. Because we are the brave. Yes, we are the brave. We'll fight you in name, the name of the brave. We are the US of A. For those unaware, that flag is still there. It's our future to save, this land of the brave, the US of A. Oh, traitors that star-spangled banner, yeah, wave for the land of the free, and the
This is Rio of Madison Rising, and you're watching MaxspeedTV.
Alrighty, folks, we are back. Qualifying is underway here tonight. 5 minutes of qualifying, 2 laps. We are just waiting for the first times to start rolling in here tonight. We've got a pretty good turnout here as well, and a good turnout in qualifying. But looks like the times are starting to roll in here. Looks like Keith Hurlbut, Larry Blair, they have put in their first laps here. And here we go with more times. Brad Delph as well. Brad going to shoot himself up there into the top spot. Mark Whitley there in, sixth now. Time's starting to roll in here, Will. So everybody's going to start changing positions as more and more times start to roll in.
Yes, indeed. Pocono can be very difficult for a track to qualify on, just like a super speedway event. You want to come out of pit road, get up to speed, get up to gear, get up through your gears. Get your tires up to temperature as well. So also, get that car where it needs to be on the track. Try to be as smooth as possible here for these 2 laps. Probably the second lap should be the quickest of anyone, unless they have some type of big bobbly slide moment or maybe kind of get tight perhaps. I was hearing that these cars are a little bit snug, a little bit stiff, so look for them to be a bit tight on corner exit. I was hearing loose in a little bit, tight off. So as we see Gary Slabnitsky, my apologies. I'll leave that one to you.
Hey, Gary, I call him Gary Slapinski. That's what I call him.
Yeah. Gary, looks like Gary's kind of done there, cooling down the car, getting it back to pit road, just perhaps.
He is officially done with his lap, so
he's sitting provisionally on the pole at the moment.
Yep.
And that lap time, I believe that's Kyle Heath in the 13. So, though almost identical lap times, just a couple of, 1,000ths separating them. So, not too shabby there.
At 52 thousandths of a second between Gary and Kyle. 98 thousandths of a second between Kyle and Chris. 18 thousandths of a second between Chris and Brad. I mean, the times are, the top 5 are really, really close in time. And we are under that 30-second mark here. We will probably be able to get Gary down here for his pole interview here real quickly. We're kind of waiting on Philip Bridgman here to see what Philip does. And that is going to be a 54.414 for Philip. Gary Slapinski is going to grab the pole out here tonight. Let's go ahead and grab Gary. Gary, buddy, got a copy?
Sir, go ahead.
Hey, man, we're grabbing the pole out here tonight. Tricky triangle, the second time you guys have been here, but 10 laps shorter than the last time. But, hey, that's still 70 laps. But what are you thinking about tonight?
Well, kind of thinking about keeping on the racetrack and not hitting anybody. It's tricky for sure. I feel like I'm driving a little different line from last time. So, no, I'm kind of... We'll see. Hopefully I can bring it home to victory lane tonight. So we'll see. I know my partner had a little issue today. He got a little greedy. He sit in the tunnel turn and didn't get a good qualifying lap there.
Well, you are going to start up here. It looks like your teammate is going to start back in 13th, but we're going to get you guys on the grid here, man. You guys, looks like pretty much everybody gridded so far. So we'll get you guys on the grid here tonight, Gary. Congratulations on the pole, bud, and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, well, that was Gary here. And Nikki Hurlbut is out in chat. All right, so she is here. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and get these guys on the grid here tonight. Gary Slapinski, we just talked to him, driving the pole out here tonight at Pocono. Congratulations to Gary on pole. Kyle Heath going to start on the outside of him in second. Chris Papp third, Brad Dell fourth, Robbie Darnell in fifth, Zach Duchier sixth, Cameron Smith seventh, Jeff Gilmore eighth, Clifton Ashley ninth, and Philip Bridgman in that 10th spot. Robbie Stewart in 11th, Larry Blair 12th, Mark Whitley 13th, Eric Jansen 14th, Keith Hurlbut 15th, Danny Story 16th, David Cassidy not qualifying. He's going to start back here in 17th. Jim Coleman-Spurger in 18th. Mike Chamberlain 19th. And Paul Buzz Cohen in 20th. Jason Adams 21st. Mark Emery 22nd. And Christopher Campbell going to round out our 23-car field here tonight. And I did notice that two drivers there, Will, did not grid. The 51 of Paul Buzz Cohen and the 68. Okay, so the 68 did grid. So 68 is gridded up. His name's not lit up, though. So only one driver, it looks like, did not grid.
I wonder if Buzz there, Coheen, I wonder if he is race control, because I remember in the SRU Truck Series, that would be the same thing as well. He would appear on the like the grid rundown, or on like the you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. He would appear on the grid and in the ticker, but not racing.
Exactly. So, not sure if he's race control or just kind of maybe, I guess, being someone's crew chief, perhaps, or that is a question we can ask at a later date, hopefully, and figure that one out, because that's something that's been puzzling me for a few seasons.
Yeah, I mean, it's all, well, I'm sure we'll find out. I mean, we could always ask Robbie and them. I mean, it doesn't hurt anything. It's just kind of curious.
Oh, no.
But, all right, well, folks, Brantley Roden, looks like Nicky out there embarrassing Keith, but it's all right. I embarrass him too, so we're good to go. We'll just embarrass him together. We'll get to chat here in just a second, because that pace car is off and away to the safety of pit road for the first time. Green is out. Boogity, 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 folks. We're racing here tonight at Pocono. Oh, and we already have a yellow. Wow. Well,
I was going to say, Joshua, it didn't look like Robbie Darnell got a real good launch. Maybe that could have log jammed some of the back half of the field, perhaps, or maybe this was just a totally different, separate incident, or some drivers could have just been super ready, and maybe that did have a little bit to do.
Oh, not off to a great start here, Will. All right, well, let's find out what happened. Oh, yeah, right there. It looks like the 44. Something happened to the 44. Whoops. And
just doesn't get going, it looks, or maybe just a lot of wheel spin, perhaps, by Robbie.
It could have been. So, yeah, we're on Robbie Darnell. And I don't know, but whatever happened, it stacked up everybody behind him. And the 10, the 3, the 77 going to get involved in this. Mark Whitley, the 73, going to get a piece of the action. The 99 going to get a piece of it as well. Oh. Well, unfortunately, folks, they do not have any resets. So
no quick repairs, fast repairs in the SRU Cup Series here, Joshua, like you say.
So they have
the
damage. Yep.
My apologies, wasn't trying to talk over you.
It's all right.
Yep, damage, gonna see. A lot of it can be quick. Some of the damage may not be too long of wait time, but then others might have a lot of required repairs. Some shunts looked pretty big, pretty massive shunts, as far as a couple of competitors just backpedaling into the wall, or some had a side or head shunt with the car. So just some might be sitting there a good while. Long pace laps at Pocono, so they do have a good buffer of when they do under these cautions, Joshua, have a good buffer or delta time to get as much of that damage repaired as possible, and then try to come back out and be as quick as possible as well. We were kind of afraid that we might see an early caution. Wasn't expecting it off the initial get-go, though.
Nope.
We were also talking a bit before the start of the race. This could help all the drivers pretty much get to that stage break at lap 25 leading to 26, like you were saying. So just
going back to, staying with the Pocono, stats and everything, just, kind of giving everybody a heads up. As you guys know, this is their second time here. You have to go all the way back to June 4th for when they were here. That was race 11. Now, they had, it lasted an hour and 19 minutes. That was 80 laps. They had 3 leaders, 6 lead changes in the overall race, but they only had 2 cautions for 6 laps that whole race. So, we are already setting that 1 caution here early on. We will guarantee have at least 1 more for the stage. Hopefully, that is all we got, but this is Pocono, Will, and I think everybody knows it. They could get it straightened out, or we could have some more oh no Pocono moments.
yes, indeed, Joshua. Pocono can most of the time be pretty easy going, mild races, mainly fuel mileage perhaps, or just strategy coming into play. Sometimes they can be a bit hairy with cautions, but just on how they play out, like you're saying. So seeing a few throwback paint schemes in the field, or throwback-esque. Got a Terry Labonte car. We got a somewhat of a Wrangler scheme, but I don't know if that says Wrangler.
Are you talking about the 22 of Chris Path?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
that does say Wrangler on it.
Oh, okay, my apologies. I couldn't quite tell or not.
Yeah, he has been running that paint for about as long as I can remember.
Jim Coleman'sberger back in the Folgers, kind of a modern take on the Folgers car.
Yeah, he ran
From
that
back in the
last
day.
week, as you remember. He was in that same
Yep.
paint. I was bugging him about it, telling him not to wreck it.
And Jeff Gilmore always pretty much in the Miller genuine Jeff cars, getting set for the restart, coming to the restart zone. Lights are out on the pace car, going to bring it in. So 4 laps of caution, I do believe. Green flag back out in the air. It looks like everybody gets going now on a more than just the front couple of rows. So, we're getting a bit racy back here.
Whoa, 3
Yeah, that
wide
was a
down
close
into 1. We're still 3 wide back here.
Yep, and person in the middle kind of backed out of it there a little bit. Too sure.
That was,
Was that Mike
I believe that was Mike Chamberlain, yes.
Yes.
All right, well, up front, Al Heath taking over the lead. Gary has led the first 4 laps here. Now, everybody picking up speed. They're not at their top speed yet, but they will, of course, coming onto the front stretch here. Oh, the 21 of Zach doing a little blink in there. Zach's going to have to get that under control at some point. Looks like oh, no, we've got another yellow. Oh, this this is not good. What happened here? Looks like Mike Chamberlain is going to be involved in this. It looks like another 3 wide back here. Mike right in the middle. As we go.
White car on the outside, just not really. Oh man, I think that might have started going into turn 3.
Ooh.
The white car just ran a bit wide and trying to. Not sure. I guess he was trying not to hit the wall, but he was way away from the wall. But
it looks like coming out of the
yeah,
turn.
he just kind of turned down. He
That-
turned down into Mike and kind of a sweeping blow.
That also involved the 3 of Robbie Stewart as well. Ooh. Oh, we're still on Robbie, man. That right front not spinning at all. Heavy, heavy front end damage to the number 3. Well, Kyle is up front here, folks. Kyle, Gary, Chris, Brad, Jeff, Zach, Philip, Keith, Cameron, Robbie, Darnell. That is our top 10. Oh, Nikki, it ain't your fault. It ain't your fault. Quit blaming yourself.
No,
Oh,
just
oh,
some
you-
drivers.
You just,
Go ahead, Josh.
I was just fixed to tell Nikki, you just wait till I start interviewing drivers. You think you're bad luck. They don't want to talk to me because every time they do, they end up getting into a wreck. So, you know, I call it, and everybody else calls it the broadcaster's jinx. So,
Yes. That commentator's curse is just out to get everybody.
yeah. Well, I got to give a shout out. We have got a lot of people out there tuning in right now. 25 people watching. We were up to 26. It's fluctuating between 25 and 30. We got 15 likes already out here, even though we've had a couple of hiccups already. It looks like everybody hanging out and enjoying the race, and Brantley out there is telling me to shh. He's telling me to hush.
Yeah, especially whenever you're talking up a certain driver or someone who's actually having a good run, and then, oh no, you find them in a wall just a few laps later. That it's so disheartening. You think
Yes.
that you're the one that jinxed them, but you're just trying to talk them up about how good they're doing. At the end of the day, so
All right,
drivers
now.
make mistakes.
Oh, yeah. Well, right now, I'm not going to interview anybody, Will. They're having enough tough time as it is.
Yeah. We haven't even had a actual green flag lap on merit or on actual pace, because as we came to the conclusion of the actual first green lap of running on solid pace, after Kyle Heath and the rest of the leaders got past the line, caution flew because of what transpired in the back of the pack coming out of the final corner. So just some of the drivers just trying to give each other enough room, and some just fronting out of real estate, trying to close up the track a little bit more, and sometimes carnage or chaos, just a bad timing can ensue.
Yep.
So
Oh, Mike Chamberlain still sitting on pit road. Heavy damage on the number 70. Unfortunately, like we said, folks, this season they don't get any fast repairs. So any damage they get, they gotta either get it fixed if they can, or they gotta just park it. Because, a blown engine, if you got a blown engine, it's going to take roughly 35 minutes, and that's required in iRacing. So you got to sit on pit road for 35 minutes, go get you a coffee, go make you dinner, whatever you do, because you ain't getting back on the track until you're fixed. Now, some of the damage is optional. You can have, 6 or 7 minutes of optional damage. You do not have to get that fixed. That is just something that you could do throughout the race if needed. But man, when you get front end damage, toe link damage, or whatever that's required, you're gonna have to get that fixed. Well, they are down into and coming out of turn 1. Only 3 turns here at the Tricky Triangle. The track looks awful.
Nikki, yeah, I was about to say yes. Nikki said the track looks awful. It's actually quite wide. I know it looks narrow because a handful of years ago, it was Armco barrier on the inside, or mainly around the inside of this track, and they redid that with safer barrier completely around the track now, except for where the safety vehicles are kind of parked and come out if need be in the real world. But yeah, basically, if you look at this from like a overhang point of view, this is a triangle-ish shaped track, and it is a handful to drive at times. You got to get every corner just right. It's a giant rhythm track, because sometimes if you kind of overdrive or mess up one corner, man, your whole lap is ruined, Joshua.
Oh, yeah, definitely so. I couldn't have said it any better. And I'll get to the point on what I think about Pocono here in just a second. Pace car's off and away. Here we go. Kyle Heath, Gary Slapinski up the top. Kyle got us going. Green flag once again here tonight, folks, at Pinocchio. Yes, I call it Pinocchio there, Nikki. And for everybody out there watching, and the reason I do that is because it does look like Pinocchio's nose. So we call it Pinocchio, or I do. Others call it Oh No.
Yeah,
there's a lot of
no.
there's a lot of names that go along with this track. Now we just got back underway here. We've got a battle for the lead between Kyle and Gary. We've got Zach, nice save, Zach. Wow, oh no, and the team's going around. Lifton Ashley went around there. Oh, man.
He had a loose moment of his own. We thought he gathered it up. He had it going straight, but then overcorrection, possibly on the steering back to that car, just maybe a bit of a, he could have hit Philip Bridgman in the back when he was trying to gather it up,
And
perhaps.
I think that's exactly what he did when he was trying to gather it back. I mean, you see
There was
right.
a check up in front, and
Yep, right there. The 10 does go into the back of the 5, and I think, I don't have it at the angle, but the 87 might have tagged him. I'm not saying he did, but it was very close there. However, that's going to send the 10 up.
Close.
Yeah, that's going to send the 10 up into the outside wall. And, oh, man, going to be some heavy damage to the 10 of Clifton Ashley here. Oh, golly.
Yeah, tough break. Like you were saying before we started the top of the show, we were kind of talking amongst ourselves, trying to decide which part of the track is going to be the trickiest. Looks like at the moment, the tunnel turn, like you kind of was talking about, for sure. I would, that's normally always the trickiest point of this track, is that tunnel turn, and it is sure caught out a couple in practice and also currently in this race.
It's very, very tricky, Nikki. I mean, I've raced here on iRacing at Pocono many times, and let me tell you, I mean, you can know Pocono like the back end of your hand, all right? And you come out and race, I mean, you know it. You know how to hit every corner. There's going to be that one race that something just doesn't feel right. And you may be going good, but it's just not going right. It changes every time you come here, and it changes every lap. The more rubber you get down, the more time you spend out here, the lane does change. So
there are multiple lanes here.
Yep.
There's more than just kind of hugging the bottom. You know, you can kind of dive it in a little bit later, kind of hug the middle to top lane through the corners, but predominantly most of the time, I guess you'd have to say it's either middle to bottom lane. Uh, this place is just like you were saying. You know, the first race that these guys had earlier in the SRU Cup season, it only had 2 cautions, but now, you know, this race has just been a completely different race
Yep.
from the drop of the initial green flag here. So that's kind of what you get at Pocono, like what we were talking about. You kind of never know what Pocono will bring, and it is showing it again this evening, Joshua.
Yeah, and I just brung up the pre-race analytics again. Now, we started earlier at 100. It went up to 108. Now, the temps dropped back down to 99. That's the track temp. So even the track temp is fluctuating, and that will change racetrack conditions. So it is so different. I mean, it's crazy how Pocono is. I know we haven't interviewed really anybody here tonight yet. Reason behind that, as I said earlier, folks, they're having a rough time as it is already. Larry Blair out there here in chat. Yep, try it again next week, buddy. So, yeah, once they can get the I guess you could call it the butterflies. Well, I guess once they get the butterflies out of their system, once they get going, oh, they're gone.
Yes, I'd have to agree with that. Once everybody can get into a groove, give enough space for everybody, this race should get going along fairly easy, no problem. I'd have to agree with you on that.
Larry Blair out there in chat here tonight. We got Larry, Nikki, Brantley out there, the Harpoon Design Racing Team, and the series or league sponsor, here. Big shout out to Brantley. Brandon out there in chat as well, one of our moderators. Looks like Mark Young out there in chat. First one to say good luck. So big shout out to those that are chit-chatting it up in chat right now and those that are not. Well, we're going to go ahead and kind of turn it over to you, Will. Now, it's going to be Gary Slapinski and Kyle Heath, row 1. I think Gary is our leader. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Will. I got to step aside real quick, and we're going to let you get us going, buddy.
10-4, Joshua. Yes, as you say, getting ready to go back. Green flag racing here at Pocono. Pace car will pull off eventually once we get coming off of that turn 4, turn 3 here. Coming onto this just about kilometer in length straightaway on the front stretch. So this would be the second highest point as far as once they do get up to speed. Really good even Stevens restart for everybody in the field diving into turn 1. So looks like Kyle Heath going to be charging around the outside if Gary can get up there. Looks like he's going to have a bobble though, so not able to fight back at the moment. That's going to give that run to Kyle Heath, like I said, in that 13 car. Going to be able to use that momentum from the high side, carry it into the tunnel turn. Chris Pratt there in the 22. We got trouble again right out of the tunnel turn onto the short chute into 3 there. And maybe one driver trying to clear himself, able to see it live. It was just kind of looks like what happened at the time of happening, but as we get the replay here.
Sorry about that. All right. Yeah, let's go ahead and get that replay here and find out what's going on here.
It's all good, Joshua. Yeah.
Another wreck in the tunnel turn. Yes, that's right. Oh, man. Okay, so it took me to the 9 of Cameron Smith. It looks like the 19 of Keith Hurlbutt also involved in this.
Looks like maybe coming out of the tunnel turn, Keith could have maybe just washed up out of the tunnel turn, and Cameron was there on the high side. had a real good solid entry downstairs, but started walking up those stairs on the no, we just had a coming together.
Yep, they had
Cameron was coming down just a little bit, and maybe he got a little bit snappy and just into Keith, who was just in that racing line, I guess you could say, that bottom line there,
Yep.
coming out of the tunnel turn, how it swoops you out, and just, man, unfortunate set of just incidences there coming through the tunnel turn. Just really sucks all the way around for those drivers, man. They were having a real good restart and just crossing your fingers and toes that everybody was going to get through that safely and we could get spread out, get into a good green flag rhythm. Only before the time of caution, only had 11 laps, but I do believe it was 11 before the stage break. So just very cautions breeding cautions this evening at Pocono at the start of this SRU Cup Series race. Just can't seem to grab all those butterflies and keep them in a jar or do away with them, like you were alluding to, Joshua. Just can't seem to shake something of the sort. We saw Chris Praff get a real good restart and trying to reel in the top two. Gary just going into turn one, could have overdrove it, had a real bad exit, kind of bobbled really bad. That allowed Kyle Heath to sail around the outside. So just wonder if he can get, now that he's the control car, as he has been previously in one of these restart attempts, just wonder how good of a launch he is able to get on this next ensuing restart. We see Stewart out there. He is able to get that damage somewhat repaired, at least that toe link damage. I know he's multiple laps down, but I do believe he got the lucky dog this caution. So, hey, you know, Robbie Stewart, he keeps getting these cautions and not being the car involved.
Yep.
You know, Jamie McMurray in the real world, once this rule came into effect, it was years later, but I believe it was a race at Talladega, I think. He was 6 laps down, I believe, and came back to actually finish on the lead lap, I do believe, at the end of that race. So anything's possible in motorsports. So
it looks like they got the one to go here, and man, tough break for Cameron. He has taken the car behind the wall here tonight. We have lost 2 drivers here. That would be Larry Blair, unfortunately, on lap 1 here tonight. And we have lost, of course, this time around, Cameron Smith in the number 9. Everybody else is still out there. Oh, Keith is on pit road here. It looks like he just entered pit road because he's only been on there at about 22 seconds. So I don't know if he's got any required damage. But if he does, he will have to sit there and get that fixed. Because once you pull into pit road, if it is required damage,
it won't let you leave.
It will not let you leave. You can get out of your car. You can get yourself back in your car. And you're stuck. So we'll see kind of what happens. But it does look like he might have some required damage because he's been on there for about getting close to a minute here. Oh, yeah, we got just pop back up top here, and it looked like the 21 of Zach was blinking again. Yeah, that was the 21. So, yeah, we will be going back green. Hey, 26 people out there tuning in right now. 20 likes. How many likes can we get here tonight? We ain't even halfway. And we've already hit 20. So thank you, everybody, for the support out there. But pace car is off to the safety of pit road once more, and here we go. Green back out, the Sim Racing Unleashed Cup Series here at Pinocchio. Round number 17, season 14, presented to you all by MaxspeedTV. Myself, Joshua Medlock, and Will Roberts up here. Me and Will just kind of hanging out right now.
Yeah, just trying to wait and see what this race will unfold for us, how everything will fully play out as it goes a bit deeper in this evening. A lot of good hard racing here in the top 4 or 5 into the tunnel turn. How will they play out?
Whoa, golly. Hopefully it plays out a little bit better than it has been. Hey, they got out of turn 2.
Yeah, it looks like about the front 8 or so single file, and got a little bit of tussles further back. And as I say that, you know, Chris Pratt had a bad turn 3. He's going to yield at least 2 positions here, maybe 3, just of all that forward loss of momentum. Just not able to have a good drive off. That's really hurts down these long 2 straightaways, the main front start finish straight and this long pond back straightaway coming off of turn 1 into the tunnel. Gary really able to stay with Kyle Heath now on this restart. Of course, you know, this is our first few laps, hopefully fingers and toes crossed, like I said, Joshua, up to speed, getting under our belt here this evening, and just have to wait and see how big of a lead or how big of a gaps these cars may get on one another, these drivers this evening. Oh, good battle back here for, what is that, about 5th position, I do believe? 10th?
10th, 11th, and 12th is what I'm looking at. Eric Jensen, Clifton Ashley, Philip Bridgman, and David Cassidy is even right at the tail end of this. So, yeah, I seen that in the timing screen that they were...
Cliff must have not have got too much damage from earlier, Joshua, from that kind of checking up incident that he was involved in the short shoot. So he is looking kind of stout at the moment as far as, you know, from a car that was in... Yeah, that was really tight there, almost argy-bargy territory through the tunnel turn.
Eric Jensen right there, side by side with Philip Bridgman. Now going back up to the top, we have Kyle Heath, Gary Slapinski, Mark Whitley, Zach Duchier, Brad Delph, Jeff Gilmore, Chris Paff, Robbie Darnell, Christopher Campbell, and Clifton Ashley. That is rounding out the top at 10 here. And everybody...
Yeah, good 4-car breakaway at the front, Joshua.
Yeah, we're starting to see a couple of different packs going on and a lot of separation. We got teammates up here together. We've got the 78 and 77 right here battling with the 13 of Kyle Heath, who is our leader, by the way. And right now the 77 and 78 is duking it out there for second.
Yes, indeed. Very tough racing between those 2 teammates. Oh, yes, indeed. I think Gary just lost the nose, right? He was directly up behind Kyle Heath, almost lost the nose, almost went into the wall. Just all that dirty air impacted that run, but still able to have enough good speed down this long front straightaway.
I don't want to stay up front too long, but I am going to keep an eye on it because I'm trying to give everybody some airtime here. And it's you know, with what we've had so far, it's been a little bit difficult to do that. They've gotten airtime. It's not the airtime that they wanted to get. So now Heath Hurlbut is back out on the track. He is 1 lap down, so he is not out of the race by any means. He is back here by himself, though, running in that 19th spot. Now, what he is hoping for is we get either a caution here early before the stage, which technically still could happen, or we get to the stage caution and he gets his lap back, because he would be the lucky dog and be back on the lead lap. He started 15th. He's running 19th right now, but I definitely wouldn't count him out. Battle up front here yet for the lead once more. Kyle Heath, Gary Slapinski, Mark Whitley, and Zach's got a bird's eye view behind them coming out of turn number 2. Ooh.
Yeah, Kyle Heath trying to do a crossover on Gary. Gary passed him up on the bottom into turn 1, and then Kyle crossed him up going into the tunnel turn. Gary really hanging it tough around the outside, and that's just going to give him the momentum he needs to try to secure this pass. But Kyle Heath side drafting back down the start-finish stripe, got really close to him at the stripe, but he's going to have that help, like you say, from his teammate right at his back door, and Zach Deuscher in the catbird seat for this battle if these three just decide to take each other out here.
Yeah, and I've seen both the 78 and 77 get into each other too. So in previous races, you don't want to take out your teammate if you can help it. But
Right.
I mean, as hard racing as what they're doing, yeah, Zach right here, he is sitting in that catbird seat. If any of those three up ahead of him do so happen to get into one another, and he gets around it. Yeah, and Zach will be sitting in a pretty good spot, but here we go, folks. That is going to be lap 25, a white flag in the air. 1 to go for the stage here, folks. We got to go around one more time.
You can see a little bit further back, Chris Pratt really trying, I believe, trying to find a way around Jeff Gilmore, but Jeff Gilmore defended that down the front straightaway, but not sure if Chris is going to be able to find a good way around or just have to wait till the restart.
Whoa!
Big moment. Caught it. What a save.
And Mark is all over the back of the 13, down into the turn. Here we go, folks.
Oh, Gary had a moment. That's going to allow Kyle to catch him, but not going to get there at all before the stripe.
Nope, there it is right there. Gary Slapinski will come away with the stage win here tonight. But without a fight, though.
No, not at all. Like you say, yes, it's good to have a teammate. Teammates are great, but rule number one with racing with a teammate or having a teammate is don't wreck your teammate. Like you say, the more you race around each other, the more of a possibility, the likelihood of that being extremely high. So sometimes you can't prevent it or stop it, but it will happen from time to time. Rubbing can be racing, but yeah. That was some good hard-nosed racing there for the few laps we did get at Joshua, so
Yep.
hopefully that will continue after this stage caution here. We could rack it back up again. Everybody surely to be pitting on this stage break, stage caution, and that should give the lap back to Keith Hurlbut in that 19 machine. So should have another car back on the lead lap for sure.
Yep, I believe Keith. Now, Keith will have to go around after all the lead lap cars. He'll have to go around one more time. But, yeah, Keith, I believe, will be back on the lead lap.
As far as we know, I do agree with you. I think he was the only car one lap down. We do have others, multiple laps down that are still in the field from a couple of wrecks earlier, or maybe just Robbie Stewart is the only one that was involved in some of the...
Something happened to Robbie. Under caution here.
Maybe lost his wheel, perhaps. Maybe wheel could have said goodnight to him.
Well, I don't know what happened. I'm gonna take a look at it here and we're gonna find out what happened.
He is missing the front fascia of the car.
Yeah,
Hard impact here.
Hey, he was.
Everybody's slowing down, and Robbie, I guess, doesn't get the memo. And
right into the back.
Man,
Oh, golly. I don't know. Who did he get into the back
I,
of?
I didn't catch a number. It was,
That was,
yes,
I believe, the 99 of Eric Jensen.
that's a hard hit on the back of the
Oh,
99. Wonder how much damage he could possibly have. That, really terrible end for Robbie Stewart, because he was out there, had pretty much looked like all of that damage repaired. He had a lot of toe in or toe out damage, and looked like he had repaired that car, just trying to get his laps back. He was out there trying to log those laps, and unfortunately, there on the back straightaway, when everybody, slowing down, catching up to the pace car. Unfortunately, Robbie just didn't apparently, see it, or maybe wasn't paying attention. I want to cut him a little bit of slack there, but that's just a strange sight to see.
yeah. All right. Well, I got to go ahead and get our stage winner down here
Yes,
real
sir.
quick. So let me go ahead and grab Gary here real quickly again. Gary, buddy, got a copy?
Yes, go ahead.
Well, it wasn't without a fight, but you are going to get the stage here tonight, man. So more points coming to you. I mean, 18 behind your teammate there, Mark Whitley, coming in too tonight. Definitely going to help a little bit, but,
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, we still got a ways to go here for, of the race. We're not even at that halfway mark yet, but so, and how, I would ask you how the first half of the race went, but I think we already know.
We already know that question. But we kind of learned a lot there. I think Mark did a phenomenal job coming from the back there. I got my partner right behind me, and he helped me out here a little bit to get the lead here. He drove the wheels off it to get here. So,
Well, I mean,
it's just impressed the way he did. So.
yeah, and
So
it's
here we are.
yeah, and it's impressive too. I know you guys are getting the one to go here, but man, this track is such a huge track. The laps y'all did run green on, how did the tires feel?
It was a little slick. I mean, it depends on if you get dirty air, clean air. I mean, I got in clean air. I felt like I was a little more slick. When I was behind someone, it definitely pushed. You could feel the nose. Ain't got much there, so. There's clean air is, I want to say king, but it makes a difference, So.
Well, I mean, we still got a ways to go here, but of course, halfway 35, so we'll get there here in about, looks like you guys are going to get green on lap 30, so we're getting there, but I think it's going to get wild. It's going to get crazy again, so
Yeah.
Good racing.
But hopefully it goes some green from here.
Oh, yeah.
We don't need any more cautions than what we just had. It takes forever to get around here, and I was just like practically falling asleep in the seat.
Yeah, it takes almost 2 minutes to get around the track, so.
Yeah, definitely.
But we're going to go ahead and let you get back to it, man. Ooh, 21 blinking again a little bit, but I think, it'll clear up. Usually clears up when we get going. So you guys are going to get going here, bud. Good luck. Congratulations on the stage win, man, and see what happens.
Thank you.
Yep. Right. Well, that was Gary, and, let's get us going here, bud.
Yes, Gary picking the outside lane, probably trying to get a good arc into turn one there. Restart in the air. Yes, indeed. Restart zone, and kind of a sluggish start here by the race leader, or at least the front row, I would have to say, as we barrel down into turn one again here on lap 30. SRU Cup Series. Everybody jockeying for position on this opening start. Oh, man. Whitley there walked it up into his teammate. That's going to give a good run to Kyle. Yes, Chris Pratt got really close. Zach Deutscher was there to the outside. So, man, contact, a little bit of contact, I do believe, by the 77 and 13 as they entered the tunnel turn, if not very uber close. Just really hard-nosed racing here, like just everywhere on the restarts. Once we do get a few laps going, man, they just just Kyle, he just doesn't really have any help up here to help him navigate around these two teammates. Sometimes you just need a teammate with you in a race or in these races, and man, they really showing the camaraderie or the teamwork chemistry that you need with one another. I would have to say, early on here, almost to the halfway point, about 15 laps or so from that. So,
Oh, no. Halfway mark, Bud will be coming within like 4. Oh, Kyle Heath into the wall.
right. Yes, my apologies, Josh. Sometimes I can't do math correctly. So
Yeah,
we'll just go-
halfway mark here in about 4 laps, 3 laps,
Yes.
something like that. Yeah. Kyle Heath, though, smacked that outside wall. Now, he did manage to keep it going, but did he get enough damage on that to slow that car down? Zach Duchier is right there behind him. Oh, well, Blinky Zach here today, folks. We'll call him Blinky Zach for now. Looks like Gomez out there. Gomez out in chat. How you doing, Gomez? Haven't seen you in a bit, buddy.
Yes, sometimes
Whoa.
whenever.
Golly, man, these guys are getting a little racy back here.
Yeah, really brave moves through the tunnel turns, I'd have to say. We've seen a few brave just slinging it down, just being committed to that bottom lane or that inside lane through the tunnel turn, and able to pull it off fairly cleanly, I'd have to say. Just clean enough to make the pass. Some might consider it a slide job.
I mean, I guess you could.
Yeah.
I mean,
A little bit, yeah.
all right. Well, lap 33. Now we got everybody kind of in a single file line, but I wouldn't say that'll stay that way. Now they will have to pit again. Oh, Phillip! Boy, he almost lost it, but he's A-okay. I think he's taking that Aero Kinetics number 5 a little too arrow.
Yes. Or literally, yes.
Yeah, literally, yeah.
Yep. That's that kind of made him overdrive a bit. Turn 3, just a tad bit. Some drivers going to be better on the entry of a couple of these corners. Some going to be better on the exits. You're going to see some of these cars be a little bit twitchy for the most part, perhaps on the exit of turn 1. Just about how low speed these cars can be traversing turn 1. Turn 2, the tunnel turn, it can be a bit bipolar with these cars, whether they want to get loose entering or exiting. You just never know. It's going to vary from lap to lap.
Did you just literally call turn 2 a bipolar turn?
Well, I was basically saying that about the track and the car. So just
Okay.
kind of throw them both in the same boat, you know.
Okay, all right. Well, so be it, I guess. Oh, Nikki is out there. Something about she can't focus on our commentary. Oh, is it bad? Or are we just all over the place?
Maybe just Keith being a bit too loud for her, perhaps.
Oh, okay.
Keith hollering in his headset.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
just being a bit too loud for her on her end.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's why.
We're fine, Joshua.
Okay. Well, I could be louder. I mean.
Yes, I think we both could.
All right. Well, Mark Whitley has led a lap. Now we are going to have to check on everybody. We've been rambling here, but Mark Whitley has led a lap. He just took back over the lead from his teammate there, Gary. Now, we will continue to watch teammates do battle up front. We are going to have to get back here to, I cannot stay on Zach, but Zach is in that third spot. Cal Heath in 4th, Jeff Gilmore 5th, Chris Paff 6th, Brad Delph 7th, Clifton Ashley in 8th, Philip Bridgman 9th, David Cassidy 10th. Oh, Jason Adams in 11th, Christopher Campbell 12th, Jim Cummelsberger 13th, Mike Chamberlain 14th, Robbie Darnell right there with the 70, Mike Chamberlain there 414th. So we do have a battle back here. Got Keith Hurlbut 16th, Mark Emery 17th, Danny Story in 18th, and Eric Jensen 19th. And all 19 drivers are on the lead lap.
So, like you say, 19 drivers on the lead lap. Just about all Gilmore had a moment just about, or maybe just trying to break the draft of the competitors behind him. Kyle Heath, I think, had a moment as well. Oh, yes, indeed. Something happened to Kyle. Looks like he might have had a bad turn 1, perhaps, and then right into the tunnel turn.
And it looks like Kyle Heath is coming down pit road here. Oh, heavy damage. Oh, and it looks like he towed it to pit road, from pit road. He was on pit road, towed it the rest of the way, and he has taken his car behind the wall, unfortunately.
Yeah, just really hate to see that from somebody who probably could have been a threat here this evening, contend for the win. Not sure if he just had a bad turn 1. That's kind of what I could assume at this moment. And heavy right front, right side damage on that 13 machine when he did come to a stop, as he was trying to get to pit lane as well down the short chute. So tough break for Kyle. Back-to-back weeks not going the way he was trying to finish them, for sure. Had a real good run at New Hampshire going, and those late race incidences and just different things kind of all coming together there towards the end of that race last week just unfortunately went by the wayside. That good run he was having, basically in the top 2 or 3 all evening, and like I said, just kind of went by the wayside. But as we're kind of looking through the field here,
yeah, just kind of hanging out, seeing what's going on. Not a whole lot going on at the present time, but we do have a few that are, close together. Potential battles here between Gilmore, Paff, and Delph. Haven't really mentioned much about Paff and Delph here. I mean, they've just been kind of hanging out, doing their own thing, and they are sitting right now 5th for Chris and 6th for Brad. Still plenty of laps still yet to go. We are edging to the 30 mark this coming up time by, so we are winding it down here, Will, but I mean, still anything is possible. Somebody up front such as Mark, Gary, Zach, Jeff, somebody in the top 5, top 10, they have an Pocono moment, and, that could set them back and other drivers move up. So, anything is still possible. They will have to come down pit road, and I do want to go ahead and the stint they've been out here right now at about 13 laps. So they still have about roughly 13 or so, 13 to 15 more laps if my mathematications is correct, or they, that window open. But
yes, sir,
they're getting close, and I'm sure they're loving the green flag run.
Oh, most definitely. This is exactly what all these drivers want. to see green flag running competition. Indeed, try to get a little bit further up the field if they can, like you were saying, or drive away from their competitor as well, as Gilmore kind of under attack from Praff and Delph at the same time, but they can't seem to close in on them without having a battle amongst themselves.
Nope.
So, good little threesome here of Gilmore, Praff, and Delph here in the 14, 22, and 75, but opposite around. That's 4th, 5th, and 6th position at the time.
Oh, Mike Chamberlain doing a little blinky going on back there too. He dropped out on the timing screen and then he came right back, but it looks like he is out there on the track. He's not having any major issues. Battle back here between Jim Coleman-Sperger in the 11 and Robbie Darnell in the 11. We'll check this battle out right here. And it looks like the 44 of Robbie is going to come away with that battle out of turn number 1. Now they're going to have to deal with turn number 2.
Yeah, Jim wasn't able to get back to the inside, not able to get the car back down or just have that forward bite off the corner. And Robbie doing well. Good, beautiful, clean pass by Jim. And Robbie looking to set his sights on the 10th place runner of Philip Bridgman. So trying to crack back inside the top 10 after starting P5. Kind of not a good start. Kind of what I guess we could assume kind of log jammed the field there on that initial drop of the green flag. Robbie either just kind of caught sleeping on the initial start, maybe out of gear, just spinning tire. Different things could have fell into the equation there of just why he did not get a good launch. But yeah, he's really reeling in the 5 car of Philip. Philip seems to be really good in turn 2 sometimes and 3, but strong suit of 1 may not be the greatest, but had a bad, well, maybe not too bad of turn 2. Almost just maybe that illusion of the camera angle in 2, just the way it kind of looks, but really up the track in 3, just kind of probably letting Robbie by as Robbie had caught up to him and just saying, all right, there you go, you caught me, let me let you go by.
And that could be a big possibility too. And Jim Coleman-Sperger is coming up on Philip.
Yep, Jim, like you say, makes the pass as well. So Philip losing a couple of positions here in less than a lap's time. So maybe just not quite the tired dag or also maybe not the long run capable car this evening for Phil. Kind of getting a little bit sideways as well through the tunnel about every other lap for Phil. So
well, Mark
different driver. No, go ahead, Joshua.
I was going to say Mark Whitley and Gary still leading the way. Everybody pretty much kind of spread out a little bit. Just a couple of battles still going on. David Cassidy and Clifton Ashley. This is back here at around that 7th spot. Now I want to ask the big question. When do they come down pit road? Do they go as far as they can go and then come down? Or do they split it here and come down within the next 2 to 5 laps?
I think you could probably do both strategies, but good possibility that the short pitting may not be all that great in the long run as far as, you know, the cars that decide to stay out are going to have that pressure tire at the end of the race and potentially might be able to run those drivers back down who short pit if they do decide, like you say, to come in early. So it's kind of like a kind of a flip of a coin there, Joshua, just what kind of strategy you decide to do. Now, there can be a delta time here at Pocono as far as it. I think we saw a car have a problem. Clifton Ashley there had a problem coming out of turn 1, but not sure if he kind of struck the wall or.
He's got some damage, and he is on the apron here, coming out of 2.
Yeah,
Heavy
he hit the
damage.
wall on the left side of the car, so that toe link is probably knocked out as well. So he was battling, like you say, with David Cassidy for that 7th position. So looks like it was right at the end of the picture frame, and just looks like the back end just swooped right out from underneath him, coming on the exit of turn 1, like just on the trying to come up onto Long Pond on the back straightaway. So he is able to wrestle it onto pit road without getting back up on the track in harm's way. So, but I would prefer to go as long as possible. But like I was trying to allude to, there is a certain gap that you can be within range of, say, just about 5 or maybe 10 seconds, if that, 8 or 5 seconds back from the race leader pit, and still come out on the lead lap. Maybe 10 seconds, but that could be cutting it close. Just all depends here, Joshua, how far you are away from the leader to when you do make your pit stop, to where you blend back out on the track, as far as not going a lap down to the race leader.
Speaking of pit stops, here's Mike Chamberlain down pit road here. So Mike is going to make his final stop there. He will be able to make it to the end. Of course, our leaders, Mark Whitley and Gary Slapinski, Zach Duchier, Chris Paff, Brad Delph. Top 5 not coming down. Jeff Gilmore, David Cassidy, Jason Adams, Robbie Darnell, Jim Colemansberger, Christopher Campbell. So I'm not really seeing anybody else. There's Keith not coming down either. So Mark Emery, let's see, Mark Emery hanging out back here in 15. So nope, he's not coming. Eric Jensen, though, in the 99 is coming down pit road. I'm getting a lot of feedback on your end there, buddy. Not entirely sure what the feedback is, but
All right, did that fix it?
well, it sounds like it did. I think it did.
Is that better?
Yeah, much
Oh.
better.
Okay.
All right, well,
apologies.
that's all right. It happens. We're just gonna have to work out the details there, bud.
10-4. Yep, try our best and what we try to provide to everyone to see here.
Yep, Zach on pit road, Mark on pit road, Jason on pit road. Here comes Keith down pit road. Danny Story is on pit road. We do have pit stops here, folks. It looks like Gary stayed out, but I don't think he's going to stay out any longer than he has to. Nope, here he comes. He's down pit road now. I would imagine, I was wrong about that. Chris Paff is going to stay out, and he's going to lead his first lap here tonight. 19 laps to go, folks.
Pit stops can be the great equalizer, Joshua, as far as getting onto pit road, getting into your box to hit your marks. Don't, overdrive your pit box to where you have to back up or, nothing like that. Don't make any mistakes on pit road. Don't speed. Out lap has to be good. Just like your in lap, you want your in lap to be good as well. So have to see where everybody's going to stack up once they once this cycle of pit stops will be complete, and see where everybody will cycle out through.
Right. Well, Chris did come down pit road, so Jeff Gilmore took over the lead, and he's going to lead a lap. David Cassidy stayed out, so Chris is on pit road. Christopher Campbell stayed out. Jim Coleman'sberger is down pit road. Mark Emery is going to stay out as well. So it looks like we're going to have 4 drivers that have not yet pitted. Gilmore, David, Christopher, and Mark.
So good possibility these drivers are trying to either hope for a caution, and if they don't get it, they're going to pit, be the last of the late pitters, and come out with the fresh tire than everybody else, and see where that fresh tire can possibly get them at the end of this race, Joshua.
Yeah, I'm watching it here because right now Gary Slapinski is setting 28.5 seconds behind the leader. There's Gary right there. Jeff Gilmore is just now going through turn 2, which is the tunnel turn, and Christopher Campbell is on pit road here. He has had enough. So I wonder if we're going to see any 2-tire stops. Did Christopher Campbell, did he? No, I was fixing to say he better not have taken just 2 tires. Probably wouldn't have been the smart thing to do. Then again, I'm not racing, so I don't know. Do you take 2 tires?
It would be an interesting call to see someone take 2 tires. But for the most part, you would imagine all these pit stops would be a 4-tire change. But I don't know. As far as the gap back, I don't think you could take 2 tires, come out, and still be within reason of the race lead. Maybe just hang on for a good. That could get you a top 5 finish, perhaps, if you are someone like Jeff Gilmore or Cassidy, perhaps. But that might also just make you lose a bit more ground to the actual 4 fresh tires that everybody else took.
Yeah.
So it can just be, like I said earlier, like just a flip of a coin call of what you end up deciding to take. But for the most part, you would imagine all these pit stops being 4 tires, I would have to say.
Yeah, it looks like Mark Emery is coming down now. He just lost a few positions there. Gary got around him, then Mark. Now, as Mark Emery is coming down pit road, he's losing some more positions, but you know, we allude to the newer tires versus the older. Oh, and that could hurt you, having to back up on in your pit box. You know, we allude to the tires, you know, newer tires versus older tires, and here's Gilmore and Cassidy. That is the last 2 that is going to have to come down pit road. Now, that would give the lead back up to Gary Slapinski here. He is making his way out of turn 3, now onto the front stretch here. Gilmore and Cassidy is in their pit box, but Gary is going to reclaim the lead here. Mark Whitley is going to be P2, coming around Zach there. Zach going to go back to P3. But I'm wondering who is going to be burning up their stuff more. Is it going to be the 2 drivers that just came off of pit road, or the drivers that have been out here for 5 or 6 laps already?
Well, all depends on the tire management. Some drivers are better to take care of their tires better than others. That's how we're able to see the sustainability and the consecutiveness of some of these drivers up in the top five, or for instance, the top three this evening. And can't talk enough about tire management, tire wear, and just not sure if 13 laps would be enough of a time to draw back some of that lost time that could have been gained by Cassidy or Gilmore there. Uh, Probably still going to get a good stand-up top 10 finish out of it, no doubt, but how much time can they gain, like you say, on these fresh tires? That's still to be decided here in the remaining laps of this race. But if a caution comes out, they for sure have fresher tires than their competitors ahead of them. If everyone was to choose to stay out, I would imagine everybody still has at least a set or two of Goodyear tire still setting in their pit stalls. So
ATVO doesn't have that yet. They do have like the Q tire and the tire, but it's not implemented yet to where you can actually see how many tire sets each driver has left, whether they have
right.
one set or no sets or whatever. I wish they would implement that. They've already got the fast repairs. I already can see that. How many they've used, what do they have left, blah blah blah. But the tire thing, it's not in there. It's in there, but it's not in there, if that makes any sense. And I just looked at chat here, and going back to what Brantley said, he said one of you guys has a hot mic. It's my mic. It's hot. My mic's the hot one.
Yes, hopefully we fix that for this evening, and have to work around that, or just keep having to work that out as we go on. So just have to kind of catch it as it happens. Hopefully don't let it linger for too long.
Trying to just kind
if it does happen.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just to keep kind of mentioning about the kind of the issues that we may have with our headsets from time to time, or just especially mine. So, but like you say, just kind of going through the field, just kind of seeing how everybody is kind of progressing now this final stint of the race, and you still see here Keith Hurlbut, he has actually gained some ground after getting that lucky dog. He has moved up to that P11 position, so if he could run down that 10th place competitor, he'd be knocking on the door at 10th, but that would be Jim Coleman'sberger. He's just a handful of seconds ahead of him, just a few, so
and we
about
got
a corner.
10 to go. Yeah, we were on Keith there. He started 15th. He's up to 11th. So, if everything stay green here and, Keith can't catch up to Jim, that would be a top 10. He has 2 seconds behind him. Going to be a little bit difficult to catch up to the driver. Well, I say that, and Keith's going to make me a liar now. He's down to 1.9 seconds. It looks like he can catch him into the turns, or on the straight stretches. It's the turns that are really hurting, and it's not only Keith. It's probably several other drivers out here as well. They can get you on the straight stretches when they pick up speed, but as soon as they get into the turns, it's like, oh my gosh.
Yes, everybody attacks these corners so differently. In a way, it can kind of, I don't want to say be like a short track mentality, but just of how you have to attack each corner differently. Sometimes you can just be great in 2 corners and just, in a way, purposely kind of mess up one and still have a good stint or a good portion of the race logged, as far as just focusing on setting, say, like the tunnel turn in turn one, basically being your priority to always get right. And okay, I can kind of give up a little bit in turn three, perhaps. Or maybe some may say, well, turn one, I can afford to give up just a tad bit, but you definitely don't want to give up nothing in the tunnel turn. As man, once they got going here, like we said, like we alluded to it, it would kind of, this race just kind of fly by. That seems like what has gone on here, even though
Yes.
these lap times can be fairly long here at Pocono, huge track, and, you know, 53 to 55-second lap times, depending on the fall off. So, you know, it can feel like a long race, but at the same time, you know, once they get a rhythm down, as we see the teammates.
Teammates of Gary and Mark. Oh, wiggle there by Mark Whitley.
Mark has really chased Gary back down after the pit stops, and within striking distance, I would say. He is there just, I wouldn't say really applying pressure, but just letting him know, hey, teammate, I'm here, Gary. I'm in your mirror. I'm kind of just, in a way, filling up your mirror, but I don't necessarily want to make you drive into a mistake, but if it happens,
Well,
hey, I'm here to capitalize.
you know the song Under Pressure? Well, there you go.
Yep. Yep, exactly.
Under Pressure.
Yep. When you're under pressure, you know, your head starts going so much faster than your heart can keep up, it seems, and heart rate gets to racing. And especially if you're in the lead, sometimes, you know, your heart's always racing regardless. But sometimes as the race leader, you feel like it might beat out your chest, because you're trying your best to keep that car out in the clean air.
That was close.
Yeah, you can see there, Whitley had an excellent turn three, able to just get right there on corner exit and all the way down the main straightaway, but he was down. Oh, man.
Somebody almost Poconoed somebody's nose.
I tell you, the teammates here with 5 laps to go, truly making the end of this race entertaining, interesting. And Gary gonna run wide up in the marbles, up in the gray stuff, and almost thought he was gonna slap that wall.
Well, they do call him Slapinski for a reason.
But
I had to.
Yeah, I know. I set you up for it. Good one.
I had to say it.
Whitley trying to get the side draft back again on his teammate, but also going to go way downstairs on the front straightaway. Let's see how he's going to try to arc it into the corner. Gary gonna cross him over here now on corner exit. Can he get the car to bite? It's opposite of what it was last lap. And Gary gonna come up, try to get a little bit of side draft down the back straightaway into the tunnel turn.
4 laps to go. God, they're going to go door to door, folks.
Another instant where, man, if they didn't touch me, it was awful close. Can Gary stay with Whitley after Whitley has gotten into the clean air? Can he does he have anything left on those tires? Did Gary use up his stuff from the pit stop just a handful of laps ago, or over that now? But
it's about 16. There is a 1 lap difference between Mark and Gary, but that's it. Now Zach is in 3rd, Chris 4th, Brad 5th. Jason Adams does have company with Robbie Darnell. There goes Robbie to the inside of Jason Adams.
Look at that. Jeff Gilmore, one of the last late pitters, can capitalize on this battle, and that fresh tire really going to help out Gilmore to chase down Darnell and Adams. He's going to get Adams first. Darnell disposed of Adams in turn 1. I don't think Adams is going to be able to fight Darnell back, but going to fall into
Hey.
the clutches of Gilmore.
And we got a couple of battles going on all over the place. Mark Whitley up at the top just took the 2 to go. Hey, folks, we get a caution before we get to the white flag. I was fixing to say white lag. We don't want no lagging going on here.
No.
We already see Zach blinking out, so that's too much. That's enough lagging.
Oh, man.
Oh, something happened to Zach.
Whitley actually went down to try to break the draft of Gary, but Gary, that's kind of out of just a mess of illusion there from the race leaders trying to play cat and mouse with one another, those teammates there. And, if they keep doing this, I know it's about to be the white flag, but Zach is still there. He is lurking. Yeah. So they really can't afford to make a mistake.
Nope, white flag.
Yes, Josh. Yeah, man, I'm all over your heels. I am ready for just about everything. I'm trying to be.
White flag in the air, 1 to go here. Gary is trying to catch back up to the 77. Zach is still right there, though. The 2 up front get connected together. Well, all Zach's got to do is cross the stripe first, and he will bring it home into victory lane through the tunnel turn. Here we go. I don't know if Gary's going to have enough to get up there, but we're gonna watch it here, see kind of what happens. 26 of you out there, 20 likes out here tonight, what I'm seeing. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Out of turn number 3 here tonight. Mark Whitley is back, two back wins. That is his 2nd this season, folks. Man, Mark Whitley, but it wasn't without a fight. His teammate there is going to finish in P2. So another 1-2 punch here for the Harpoon Design Racing team. And Zach Duchier is going to finish in that 3rd spot. Chris Paff in 4th. Brad Delph there in that 5th position. Robbie Darnell 6th. Jason Adams 7th. Jeff Gilmore 8th. David Cassidy 9th. And Jim Coleman-Sperger rounding out our top 10. But our podium, Mark Whitley, Gary Slapinski, and Zach here tonight, folks. Hang tight. We're going to get the top 3 up here for the MaxspeedTV post-race show. We will be right back. Alrighty, folks, I have caught up with the top 3 here tonight. We're going to go ahead and pull up our winner here, Mark Whitley. Well, man, you did it. Back-to-back wins. This is your second in a row this season, bud. I know, man, you are one of those drivers everybody's trying to hunt down this season. You have got a lot of wins, and you just keep on going. But it was a rough start to the race out here tonight, man. Talk about the beginning of it and, you know, how you guys overcome the adversity out here at the beginning of the race and then come down to an amazing finish.
Yeah, for beginning of the race was a little treacherous. Pocono, as we saw in the real world race, I mean, cautions breed cautions is wide, but you get one person makes a mistake, it gets real narrow off the tunnel turn, and there was a couple of wrecks. Thankfully, I was able to avoid them, but there was a couple of wrecks near us. I messed up my qualifying, so I had to start in the back, and it was a little treacherous. It's just trying to be careful. Once we got in a groove, it went green, which I figured it would. This league's pretty good, and we just had, somebody missed, didn't start in the right gear, and somebody blinked. So I mean, we had a lot of early cautions, but they were honestly they weren't really super. The reason for them wasn't like just people being dumb. It was just somebody started in the wrong gear and somebody was blinked. So I knew the league's pretty good. So once we got in the rhythm, we went green. And I know earlier this season, we only had 2 cautions. I think one of them was a stage. So I knew this race had the potential to go green. So it was just about trying to get up to the front and keep the nose clean and try not to burn the tires off. I know the middle part there, I really tried to help Gary and just get around Keith and Kyle. And we were pushing so hard. I think at the end of that run, right before we pitted the last time, I think we used the tires up a little bit too much because I feel like it was just so treacherous at the end of that run. So I knew for the rest of the race, I messed up. I slipped through the box a little bit on the last pit stop, and I knew Gary just a little. I mean, it was maybe a foot over, so I lost a little bit of time, and Gary came out in front of us more than I thought he would. So I kind of took it easy. I saved the tires a little bit, and then the last 10 laps, I started picking it back up, trying to see if I could run Gary back down, and was able to pull away from Zach. And we were able to get to Gary, and then I know Brantley's probably over there with no fingernails anymore, biting his fingernails off, watching us race hard like that. But it's he pretty much told us, he said, "I don't care if y'all race, just don't wreck each other and don't let Zach catch y'all doing it." So, it was just fair game. Hats off to Gary. He's a hell of a teammate. He's amazing behind the wheel. I mean, I could have easily have been him in the victory lane. And that was some hard racing. I think maybe he used his tires up a little bit more at the beginning of that last run, where I made the conscious effort to try to save him a little bit. So I think that might have bit him a little bit at the end of the run. And once I got by him, finally, it was pretty much just hit your marks and don't let him get the draft, and just come back around and get the checker flag. And thankfully we were able to. And that's 3 in a row. I think it's the second time you said this season.
Yeah,
that's
second time.
a hell of
in
an
a row.
accomplishment.
Oh.
That's just they're split with Daytona, and we don't talk about Daytona. So anyway, but hats off to everybody in the league. I knew once we got in a rhythm, it would go green. This league's really good, and it's just a little bit difficult at the beginning of some of these races, but we got it all sorted out, and here we are.
Yeah, it was an amazing finish for sure. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if you was going to win, Gary was going to win, you guys were going to get tangled up, Zach was going to win, or you never know. Something, a green, a caution could have come out before the white flag, and it would have set us up for a green, white, checkered attempt. So, at that point, anything could have happened, but we didn't get there. So, it was an amazing finish. Now we go from Pocono to Indianapolis next week, the Brickyard 200. How do you feel about Indy?
I feel like Indy honestly has a lot of similar characteristics to this track. It's a very unique shaped track. It's very flat. So I think it's pretty easily translated from here to Indy. So I think the same guys that are going to be up front are going to be up front next week. I think tires again are going to be very important with this next gen car. You can save tires at the end of the run. You can really just pull away or catch people. So I think it's going to be interesting. I think maybe we should, I don't think we'll have any caution issues like we had today. I think today it was just a little bit of a fluke. So Expect it to go green, and hopefully we can maybe go for 4 in a row. I don't think I've ever done that in this league, so I'm in uncharted territory at this point.
Yeah, we're winding down the season too. So, you know, the top 16 will make it into the chase. Of course, we will start going over the top 20 next week. So, um, figure out kind of who's where. And you know, Richmond though to finalize the regular season. We got a ways before we get to that, but we are getting ever so closer. So yeah, Indy is going to be a tough race, I think. You know, all 4 turns they're not the same, but they're the same in a way. That's the best way I can put it. It's a big track, so. But you know, go ahead. Anything, Mark?
No, like I said, I agree. It's just gonna be about saving tires and being up front and trying to hopefully hit some strategy good, because I know Indy can a lot of times come down to fuel strategy. So we'll see if it comes down to that, and maybe we'll win one a different way, or
Oh
just
yeah.
it's we're just having fun at this point in the season. I got all these wins banked, so it's just kind of about going out there and having fun and just enjoying it.
Oh yeah, definitely. So, well, Mark, awesome job, awesome win out here tonight again, buddy. Final thoughts, shout outs, thanks you want to give before you go celebrate?
Big shout out Brantley Harpoon Design, spotting tonight for us. He's probably down to some bloody nubs of his fingers, watching me and Gary race. But check him out, harpoondesign.com. He does the absolute best work on trade paint. Oh, well, on trade paint too, but on iRacing for custom paint schemes. So he's got a form you can fill out. Go check him out. He'll get back to you really quick with it. Or if you just want to run something he's already made, because he's made like 1,500 paint schemes at this point, or that are on trade and paint. Check him out on there. And big shout out to my teammate Gary. That was a hell of a run. I really thought when he came out ahead of me on the pit stop, I thought it was really just going to be, he was just going to walk away with it. And thankfully, we were able to figure out a way to get around him and hard racing. And I got dumped last night for a win, so I'm glad got some people still out here that has can race hard and respectfully. So appreciate him. And then shout out to the league. Like I said, rough start, but we got it together. And it went green toward the end. This league's full of talented drivers, up and down the field. So they're all, hats off to them. And that's final shout out to my family tuning in these broadcasted races. They don't have to do it, but they always ask, and they always do whenever I tell them I got a race. So I appreciate them. I know my granddad just had surgery this past week, so I know he's kind of laid up a little bit. So I'm glad he's doing well. Hopefully get to see him soon. Shout out. And I guess for you putting on a broadcast, it's always fun to go back and watch. Can't wait to see this one. I might be clipping the end of the race, because I want to see how exciting it was outside, because inside my heart rate was going.
Yeah, it was one heck of a finish there as well, and it was a rough start, but everybody got going. So Mark, thank you, bud. Awesome job, awesome win out here tonight again, man. Try to make it 4 in a row next week at Indy, but until then, buddy, stay safe and thank you, and go celebrate.
Thank you.
Thank you, buddy. All right, well, that is going to bring us up here to our P2 finisher, which is his teammate of Gary Slapinski. Well, Gary, man, awesome P2 finish. Was a rough beginning, but you guys got it under control. And then, of course, everybody had one heck of a time out there trying to, catch one another, basically. And then you and Mark going at it, and Zach back there is probably wreck.
Yeah,
Talk
I'm
about
sure
it.
he was licking his chops. He was definitely licking his chops. I was definitely white knuckling it there right at the end there for sure. Mark is a hell of a driver, and I'll try to learn everything I can from him, and I'm sure he learns things from me all the time. But in the end, we're teammates, and we try to make sure we don't get into each other. But at the end there, we got to go for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's for the W. So I'm sure it looked good on TV. I'm sure it looked really good. It wasn't in my seat, I'll tell you that. It didn't look good in my seat, but we definitely put on a show. We were talking to each other too. I said, we'll just put on a little show here, and both our spotters are like, "You guys got to make it easy." Meanwhile, we're clanging and banging against each other. It was fun. I had a lot of fun.
Well, I'm sure I don't know who your spotter is, but I know who Mark's is. So, for all I know, it could be the same spotter.
Oh no, it's Young. Mine's he's a good guy, and he does a great job for me. And Appreciate it, everything he does. He comes in, he's been helping me out, so I appreciate it.
Oh, well, hey, I'm sure both of them are like, all right, guys, y'all need to chill.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
for
yeah,
sure.
you two up front, once y'all got connected together, y'all were battling it out, not only for the win, but, just
Yes.
battling for position as well. Y'all's battling for the top spot in the point standings. You come into tonight, Gary, we talked to you earlier, 18 behind Mark. Of course, after all the points are all said and done, we'll see exactly how you line up. But you guys are battling it out, going at it, on the track. Well, what's it like? What was it like after we got through the mess? We got through the stage, and then you guys started going at it. What was it like after you guys got some green flag runs in? What was it like down there?
It it was a lot of fun. Me and Mark were kind of working together there, and it was pretty loose out front for me. I thought it was really loose. Mark kind of felt the same thing too, but he was able to manage it a little better. I mean, I have a little different idea what to do next time. Um, a little different steering ratio, so I'm gonna go back to my old one. I think that was I went with the same one I went last time, and I felt like I was just turning the wheel too much tonight. So I think if I go back my original, I think I would have drove a little better, but it's okay. That's just my fault. I didn't practice that much either, so out there in practice. I just got caught up in a couple of things at home. So overall, I mean, I had a great finish tonight. I think I led the most led the most laps. Got the pole. Uh, I got stage. So I mean, tonight was a great points night.
Yes.
I can't complain.
Yeah, it definitely was. Well, Pocono is done for the season. We don't have to worry about it again, at least this season. We do go to Indianapolis next week for the Brickyard 200. 80 laps there. How do you feel about Indy, bud?
Much like this place. Like Pocono to me. You just got to hit your marks. It's the biggest thing is coming out of 2 and coming out of 4. I mean, getting into the corners is easy. It's just getting those runs off the corners to get the speed down the backs and fronts. It's that's everything. So let's see how it goes. Me and Mark will probably work on it, and we'll find something. We'll have a good, hopefully, maybe another 1-2.
That's what you guys are shooting for. Always
Yes,
trying to get those
really
one
is.
twos, So, uh, representing the Harpoon Design Racing team really good especially when you go 1-2.
Yeah, I know one of my guys had a little trouble tonight, and I'm sorry he had trouble tonight. It was Kyle and Kyle Heat. So they sorry he had a little trouble tonight. He was running up with us, and he had a lot of fun with him, but a little misfortune. So sorry, buddy.
Yep, Kyle. Unfortunate night for him, but Gary, I gotta say, an awesome race. After the little hiccups there at the beginning, it was an amazing race, man. So, bud, any final thoughts, shout-outs, thanks you want to give before you go celebrate your P2?
I'd like to thank you, MaxspeedTV, what they do for us week in, week out. You guys do a great job broadcasting. I appreciate it. Of course, Harpoon Designs. I'd like to thank Driven, all they do for me. It's great. I got all those guys at Spot and teammate. I really appreciate him. Thing he does for me too, and everybody out there watching.
Yeah, we hit 20. We're at 21 likes right now, and we're not even technically done. So
yes,
yeah,
please
so,
everybody hit the like button.
Yeah. We're every week it seems like it just keeps going up. So and
it helps the channel, guys.
Yes,
please hit it. It helps the channel.
Yep, it helps not only Max Speed, but it helps SRU as well. So
correct.
It gets it all out there and gets that YouTube algorithm going and. So yeah, 21 likes right now, bud. So Gary, go celebrate your P2 out here tonight, buddy. Get ready for Indy, and I guess we'll see you there.
Okay, good night.
Good night, bud. All right, well, that is going to bring us down here to, and he took his car behind the wall. I hate it when y'all do that. Well, Zach, man, P3 finish here tonight. Awesome job. Got a good points night here for you. Man, talk about it. It was, a rough start to the race. I've asked the other two the same thing, but Well, after all the hiccups there at the beginning, you guys got it under control. We got to hear from you, man. How was your race out here tonight overall?
Overall, I'm very impressed with myself. I did not expect the top three. I was more expecting maybe a top five, top 10. But other for than my blinking incidents, I feel like tonight was actually a pretty good race for the most part after the hiccups got over with.
Yeah, and I don't know. It seemed like your blinking issues, Zach, were usually under pacing. I don't know. I think a lot of people have that issue. Under pacing, you start blinking a little bit. But once y'all got going green, it seemed like it cleared up. So I don't know. I don't know what the deal was there, but it was a great race, Zach. I know. Let's kind of talk about the battle there that Mark and Gary was having, because you were right there. You were in the catbird seat, man. What was you thinking at that time?
I hate to be negative, but I was really hoping they were going to take each other out, not completely, but just get themselves loose so that I can maybe get up there. But unfortunately, those guys are such great drivers and clean drivers that never happened for me to catch up.
Hey, you can't complain though. P3.
I'll take the points night any night.
Oh yeah, definitely so. Well, Zach, I mean, I could ask you how. Well, one last question: how did your tires hold up there during that last run?
Not bad. I started getting a little loose, but other than that, my car was pretty much on rails, in my opinion, all night long.
All right. Well, we go to Indianapolis next week, bud, for round number 18. How do you feel about Indy?
Top three, I'm hoping top five. Love the track. It's historic. You cannot not hate the track.
I love Indy.
I love
So,
it too.
yeah, it is a very historic track. Well, Zach, man, any final thoughts, shout outs, thanks you want to give before you go celebrate your P3
Uh,
here tonight, man?
Obviously, you guys for broadcasting. You guys do a great job. Great combination of each other. Love watching it during a race. SKU in general, what a very good league and professional in my opinion. If you want to join it, I highly recommend it. My buddy Philip, always fun racing with him, and my team Air Connects. Can never forget about those boys.
All righty, Zach. Well, go celebrate your P3 here tonight, buddy. We'll see you next week.
Have a good one, boys.
You too, bud. All right. Well, that is our top three here tonight, and man, I gotta say it was one heck of a race. We're gonna kind of go ahead and get down here into the I want to call it the unofficial results, because I don't believe the points have been updated. So let me get down here to the unofficial results, pending any admin stuff we have to do here tonight. But Mark Whitley grabbed the win back to back to back again, his second time this season. So Mark grabbed the win out here tonight. His teammate there, Gary, in P2. Zach, who we just talked to, in third. Chris Paff in fourth. Brad Dell fifth. Robbie Darnell in sixth, Jason Adams seventh, Jeff Gilmore in eighth, David Cassidy ninth, Jim Coleman-Sperger 10th, Keith Hurlbut in 11th, Philip Bridgman 12th, Mike Chamberlain 13th, Christopher Campbell 14th, Danny Story 15th, Eric Jensen 16th, Mark Emery 17th, Clifton Ashley 18th, Kyle Heath, tough break for Kyle here tonight. He'll finish 19th, Robbie Stewart in 20th, Cameron Smith 21st, Larry Blair, 22nd. Paul in 23rd. But again, our winner here tonight, Mark Whitley. And of course, myself, Joshua Medlock. Will, man, I got to say, it started out rough, but man, once they got it going, man, it was on.
Yes, it was. It was on after, even a little bit from those restarts. They were trying, but once they got those cautions, the bugs worked out and everything. Like you say, the butterflies all caught or disposed of, whichever you want to put it, and they got these green flag runs in, and that sequence of pit stops that we saw. We saw some drivers like they even said after the race. Some made mistakes on pit road. We talked about making no mistakes whatsoever. Try to have a clean on and off pit road as you can. That can really be part of the tricky triangle here at Pocono. All in all, pretty good race here this evening. What more can you want to expect out of a Pocono race? I would have to say, yeah, like you said, Joshua, a few, uh, you know, kind of a sluggish, slowish start, but man, once they got going, we saw the teammates really battling. Kyle Heath was a part of it there until he had that moment. Not sure still what transpired. Zach coming home on the final step of the podium, he was there within reason. But just good race here at Pocono when it was all said and done, Joshua. Can't wait to see what next week will bring. Similar track, so I almost expect the same things like we saw this evening, just about.
Yeah, we're going to see similar style racing for sure. Hopefully we don't
Yes.
see the yellows. Definitely don't want to see the yellows at Indianapolis. You think it takes, almost 2 minutes here at Pocono. It takes over 2 minutes at Indy to get around that track under caution. So we don't want to see it. Will we have
And it's a lot more narrower.
Yeah, it is a lot more narrower too. So we are definitely going to have to watch that. Now drafting next week on the front and back stretch, and even in the short shoots between 1, 2, and 3 and 4, you can get the draft, but I think aero push is going to be the bigger issue
Yes.
at Indianapolis. We'll talk more about that, of course, next week. It'll be myself and Will up here in the booth again, same time, same place. I want to give, not only a shout out to you, Will, for, again this week joining me up here in the booth and calling the race. I think you did 90% of it here tonight. So, hey, hey, you keep going. Hey, if you want to go for it, I'll just let you do it.
Well, I was just going to say, Joshua, thank you for having me, letting me be a part of your coverage here on Sunday nights of the SRU Cup Series. These guys always provide some great, hard, close racing. Yeah, there is some cautions maybe here and there, but that is part of the hard racing that can transpire from these competitors. Yep. And, it is part of racing. So that's what you're going to see. But, just like I said, I just can't thank you enough for letting me be a part of it, be here with you. I just love to help and any way I can. I truly appreciate being here, Joshua.
Yeah, and it's not a problem. Like I said, a big shout out to Will for joining me in the booth. A big shout out to all the fans out there here that tuned in. Man, we had a bunch of them. I think we almost hit at peak 30. We do have 21 likes out there. I'm going to try to run through some names here real quick. Nikki out there. Larry jumped in and tuned in, unfortunately, after he got wrecked out, but he jumped in chat. Brantley Roden, Harpoon Design. Go ahead and give Brantley his shout out here, the series sponsor. So, Brantley, thank you for not only tuning in, but, sponsor the series out here as well. I know we had a bunch more. Gomez was even out there. Miss Sandy Gomez out here racing with the guys. My brother out there tuning in here for a little bit. We had Woes out in chat. And I'm trying to go, man, everybody chatting it up here tonight. Brendan Kennedy, one of our moderators out there as well. Mark Young. If I did miss anybody, I do apologize. But I know we had a bunch of others that wasn't talking out there as well. So, a big shout out to all the fans out there that tune in. A big shout out to all the admins over here at SRU that, put on a show. Do everything on the back side of things. Robbie Darnell, Jim Coleman-Spurger, Jason Adams. I could keep on going. But, a big shout out to everybody for tonight. Do appreciate it. Not only from myself and MaxspeedTV, but for SRU. But that is going to do it here for MaxspeedTV and the Sim Racing Unleashed Cup Series, sponsored by Harpoon Design and presented to you all by MaxspeedTV. Until next week, folks, stay safe. Thank you all, and have a good night.